Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to install and replace a basin mixer tap. So as you can see, this tap's had its day. It's flapping all over the place, it's not opening the valves, no water's coming out, and I've tried all sorts of things in terms of opening the back Allen key and it's not opening, and so it's just easier just to get it changed over for a like for like, but with the new one I've bought is a waterfall one. Okay, so first things first, try and isolate your valves. And then I'm going to get this out of the way, the actual waste pipe, so it makes it easier to install the new tap itself. So you can see those isolation valves, so that's, puts them in the off position, which is your vertical position, and then it'll turn it off. Okay, so then in terms of the tap itself, so this is the Bristan mixer tap, and it comes with all the obviously components with it, and it's the waterfall one, so the water would come out from this section here. So you'll see it coming out rather than from below. Okay, so in terms of the rubber washer, that sits on the seat itself, that sits on the sink. And so literally you put that underneath the tap and that sits on top of it. Like so. Okay, so in terms of your flexi pipes, it comes with the flexi tails, so that's just your rubber flexi tails, rubber washers on both sides. So that's hand tight, so it's quite an important factor here, hand tight, and the same the other side with the rubber washers. So in terms of the tools required, so you got your adjustable spanner, a small one, and then your grips, and then you got your box spanners. So these are special box spanners, and it comes with a lever rod as well, so it's easy to maneuver and to tighten easier. So you got different sizes, and they can both attach to each other, and you can pick up these for about £10. And then you got your normal screwdriver as well, flat screwdriver, which will put your rods onto the actual tap itself. And then in terms of seal, I use Plumber's Mate. So this gives you extra secondary seal when putting the base plate on, because I like to put a little bit on the outside. So when you got water on the outside of the tap, you don't want that water going down behind the sink and then flooding the place without knowing. Okay, just checking for anything else in the box. So this one is a Bristan. So it's it's a good quality one, British made, so it's going to be good quality, and it comes with a 10 years warranty. But as long as you make sure you maintain it and take the filter out every so often, probably once a year, and then get rid of the lime scale, and then you register your tap online, and you'll get your 10 years warranty with Bristan Direct online, and then that's where you take the Allen key out and then take the tap off. Okay, so let's speed up this video and then just pretty much see what I'm doing here. Okay, so as you can see, take the waste pipe out. So you just unscrewed anti-clockwise on both sides, and then take that out of the way, so it's easy to take the tap off. So simply screws anti-clockwise, and then you'll come off. I've got a separate video on this, so if you want to check out my channel, you'll see a separate video how to, a bit more detail on how to fit this, and a bit more detail on components of it, how it works, as it's a siphon one, which stops it from gurgling. Okay, that's now off. So same procedure. You've got little nuts that need to be opened with the box spanner, and then isolate the water, and then check the sizes on your box spanner as well. So it can vary on each tap. Some are bigger than the others in terms of the nuts. Okay, so just check, does it fit? And then once you find the right one, then you just extend it. So extend the other one with the other one, so it gives you that extra length, and then easy to maneuver and open. And then anti-clockwise, can you see I've extended it here? And then you put your rod in, and then just move it anti-clockwise. So the tap that I'm taking off has only got one nut, but then the new one that I'm fitting has got two, so it can vary on different taps. But the one that's broken that I'm taking off is just the one nut. Okay, that's it. Simply, that's how easy it is. You just undo it, the nut, and then take off the flexi pipes. So you grab onto the actual isolation valve, because you don't want that to turn, and then you turn the nut anti-clockwise as well. So just make sure you put a towel at the bottom of this. So I've put a towel at the bottom of the pipes behind, because you can have a little bit of water coming out now. Just only the small amount from the tails, so nothing to worry about, because the main thing is your water's been isolated. So you capture that water that's going to come out. It's only a little bit, both sides, and the same thing the other side as well. So the hot and cold. So one's for your hot cold water mains, and then the other one's for your one's for your cold water mains, and one's for the hot, as in hot water coming from the boiler. Okay, same with this one. Capture the water, and then once this is done, then you can pull your tap out. So there's not much in that one because it came out the other side. Okay, so this is the nut. There you go, it's all loose now. So when you're pulling it, pull one side of the tail first. You can't pull them both because you'll get stuck. So what we'll do now is just pull one section first, push the other one down, and then pull one forward, because obviously the hole's smaller, to bring them both up at the same time. There you go, it all taps out. So give it nice clean, because any debris on there, or any dirt or dust, just get that off, so that the new tap will sit nicely in terms of the seal, rubber seal, and then any additional plumber's mate you want to put on it will stick nicely. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to use plumber's mate. I know it's not required. Some of you might think, why am I using this? But to be honest, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So that's why I always use plumber's mate. Okay, so can you see those two nuts? So the plate would sit on top of the rubber washer, which is going to sink, and then you put that on the rod, and then you get your plumber's mate, make a small sausage, just roll it on your hands like so. And the good thing about this is, any excess you can put back into the tub. So just wrap it around the hole. So it is very sticky, and this is an instant water seal, which means you can test it straight away. It's not like silicone where you have to wait for it to dry over 24 hours and so on. This is instant. It grabs it, you put pressure on it, and take the excess off, and it will be watertight 100%. Okay, put one in first, one of the tails first, and then the secondary one. And then get your tap into position, make sure it's centered. and nice and straight in the middle. You don't want to be sitting the tap on, and you can see the hole on one side or vice versa. You just gotta make sure it's covering it properly. Yeah, that's good. And now the rubber washer sits against the sink, and then put the nut back on, find the correct size box spanner, and simply tighten both of them. Don't apply too much pressure because you don't want to crack the sink. So that's the reason why that rubber washer's there. You know, you'll know when it's, you know, a good hand tight. So you know, when you just tighten it, each time you tighten it, have a feel for the tap above and just think, okay, is it moving? If it's nice and sturdy and in place, then you know it's done enough. Okay, once it's in place, take the excess off, plumber's mate. See, that's the good thing about this stuff, you know, it's you can reuse it. Any excess that comes up, you can put it back into your tub and for the next job. Okay, there you go, put it back in. And now simply connect the tails back to your isolation valves. So remembering, you know, hot in Britain is on the left and cold is on the right. So just check your pipe work, make sure you do it to the right one, which side, because on the tap it says hot and cold, H and C. So make sure that the relevant corresponding tail is in the correct place. So in my situation here in England, UK, it's the hot's on the left and the cold's on the right side. So that's very important. You don't want to be, you know, doing the tap the wrong way. So don't tighten this too tight. You know, it's a rubber washer. It's not an olive. So once you tighten that, you'll just have it snug tight, and then you know, it'll be nice and seated on the rubber washer. Okay, so putting the waste pipe fittings back on. Give it a nice clean before you bring it back on. And the same way, make sure your washers are in the correct place, and then screw it back on. Okay, so you know, refer to my other video on the channel and you'll see a bit more details on this, how you replace this waste fitting. Okay, clockwise, hand tight, don't use any tools. This is designed to be only used by hand. So you know, once it's tight and that rubber, you'll feel it sitting on nice and tight. That's it now. So time to put the water back on. So both the cold feed and hot feed. So you know the screw. So the screw is going to turn back upwards, which means, you know, on, upwards, vertical. Horizontal's off, and vertical. Well, it depends on which way you're looking at the valve. So it's always going the direction of the water. That's the screw direction you want it to open. Okay.
Check for leaks.
Yeah. No leaks. And then that's it. Try the tap now. Moment of truth. There you go. So you've got your hot on the left and then cold on the right. So it's a mixer tap. So if you open it in the middle, you have a combination of hot and cold as a mixer. Just make sure the air comes out, bleed it. Yeah, and you know, if you want to adjust the flow as well, you can adjust it via the isolation valves, because sometimes, depending on the size of the sink, you don't want it spitting out everywhere as well. So I have adjusted mine slightly, which is a half turn on your valve underneath. There you go. That's all done. Brilliant. It's all job's good done. Check that one more time. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one.